Mm.
Yeah. So if you missed the show, you guys can catch it there. You know what I missed this week? I missed the Back for Blood beta.
I know, and I tried to give you a key that was already used.
Ah, it's all
Man,
right.
I feel so bad.
Nah. Don't feel bad about it. If you want to make it up for me, you can tell me all about it right now.
So, Back for Blood is an upcoming multiplayer. It's a first-person shooter, and it's developed by Turtle Rock Studio and published by Warner Brothers. Big thing is, these are the old developers of Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. And it does really capitalize on that feeling. I felt like I was playing Left 4 Dead the entire time, which is really upgraded graphics. Now, a really cool feature that they implemented with this game is the card system, where it'll give you plus 10 to stamina, a little bit of ammunition, and various other, benefits. But there also are corruption cards, which are a little bit more difficult. They'll push you back, they'll set you and the team back. And it is pretty team heavy. That was a big thing I found. Where Left 4 Dead, where you can go off on your own and really take care of these guys. The Horde in this game really gives you such an intense feeling that you almost want to be on some sort of Discord server or voice chat where you could talk with your teammate and figure out what you're gonna do next.
Yeah, so the Horde mode shooters haven't been super popular as of late. I can think of one, maybe two other Horde mode games that have had any sort of relevance. I'm thinking of Vermintide is the first one to come to. What's that?
Mm-hmm.
Days Gone?
Is Days Gone a Horde mode shooter?
Yeah,
technically, but there's it's not multiplayer, single player.
Yeah, and the Horde mode is kind of I wouldn't say post game. It's there's only 10 major hordes in it, and you have to find them.
Yeah.
This one, the hordes, it's horde base, I would almost say, because anything is going to trigger them. It's kind of like when you hit the alarm in Left 4 Dead 2, but this time you can hit the alarm, and then there's birds. If you accidentally startle a bird with a bullet, then it's going to trigger the horde too.
Mm-hmm. So, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, as you've seen right there, the special enemies are really close to Left 4 Dead 2. Right there was what you would consider the boomer, where he would puke on you and it gets you covered in the special vile vomit, and then all the zombies come towards you.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't call it that. This is every bit of Left 4 Dead 3 without the name. And I guess what happened was Valve has a thing with titles having a third in the name. So they didn't want to do Left 4 Dead 3. So that's why this happened.
Yeah, which has been a long running meme. It's oh yeah, no, we're not going to do a Portal 2 or a Portal 3. We're not going to do a Half-Life 3. We're not going to do evidently a Left 4 Dead 3. So some other what I was getting at with the lack of horde mode shooters in recent years is, how fresh does this feel? I mean, you are really likening this to a Left 4 Dead 3. Does it feel fresh, or does it feel like a corpse?
I would say it does have that, that new game feel to it. A big thing for me though is, and I don't mean to be that guy, but I have to almost be that guy. A lot of I guess the immersion, the graphics, the finer attention, the detail isn't there for what I'm assuming is going to be every bit of a $60 game. And for me, anymore, as the years go on, the gameplay, if we're looking at gameplay, it's very simple. There's nothing super complex about it. So you need to step it up in the graphics area if you're going to be, you know what I mean? I look at a game, either it needs to have a good story, good gameplay, or good graphics, and if it's basic in one area, it needs to be upped in another area for me to justify a $60 price tag. And I'm not, obviously I don't get a whole lot of story with these type of games. The story is almost non-existent besides just bare bones, but graphically speaking, it wasn't really what I would want from a game in 2021.
How does it feel mechanically, right? You were just mentioning, a lot of the enemy types that you're going to see are similar to what we would see in other horde mode shooters, right? You talked about there's a boomer. I'm assuming there's a tank. There's probably some sort of quick small character that will like that will probably lunge at you? Is there
Yeah. Like you're like nailing it on the head. It's hilarious.
Is there one that will like scream and trigger another part of the horde?
So there's like the ogre, which is like the tank, but it's monstrous. This thing is huge. And then there's something that's similar like to the charger. It's a guy with like one huge arm, but he walks slow to you and he grabs you and slams you down. And man, there's I'm trying to think of what they have for the jockey. There's this thing that sucks you up from the ground that was a little bit different, but the bugs always were weird how this thing would suck you up. I don't know, like I would say the mechanic, speaking like gameplay wise, it was fun. Like I said, even though it's simple, it's fun. They really nail what they do. And I'm led to believe there might actually be some sort of battle royale mode coming, just because if you noticed in earlier part, you could pick up attachments for the guns, almost like you can in every different like battle royale out there. And I think it would almost be cool to do that, where you only have a limited amount of stuff, and you essentially have to go through like, you know what I mean, like hold a spot until like help comes or something. I don't know. I see potential in that. I heard rumors, but nothing I can really confirm.
Yeah, and I want to point out, Morgan the Fish in our chat here says, I can pass on graphics, but it's lacking the proper campaign versus that L4D2 had.
There's a versus mode in it.
Is there?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play it. Maybe Morgan did. But I seen there was a versus. I mainly focused just on like playing the campaign, playing through it.
Mm-hmm. I know Killing Floor 2 has a versus mode, but not a lot of people. Oh, so he says versus, but not campaign versus. So you can't play through the campaign against other players. But yeah, I know like Killing Floor 2 has a versus mode, but not that many people play it. And I was gonna ask, right? So a part of the appeal of Killing Floor 2 is a bit of the weapons and some of the more wacky, what they call Zeds in there. How are the weapons? Like, what kind of are we looking at? Like, what just feels like standard firearms and like blunt objects? Or
no, I mean there's some really awesome guns in here, and I think the part that they really up the ante compared to the last one was adding attachments. Like, so they have they have the Vector in there. You could add like different scopes to it, like a different stock to it, different magazine clip to it. And I thought that was really cool. I thought that was something that was really nice to see. But like again, all the features, all the mechanics from what I played, it's hard for me. Like, I really want to play it, but it's hard for me to justify the $60 price tag. Like, I almost feel like if this was like 40 or 50, it would be perfect. And maybe I'm being a snob when it comes to like the graphic part of it. I do got to keep in mind this was just a beta, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot more that can change in between the time it's dropping. I do know we do have another beta coming up, and that's going to be August 12th until the 16th. So, if you missed it, you got a chance to play it again. It'll be coming out a little bit sooner. I think about 4 days from now. 2 days from now.
2 days, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be one of those ones. I'm going to try to get on the beta. You're not the only person who is offered for the beta, so I'm going to try to get on it and try to get some impressions to be able to talk about it myself. I know generally speaking, it's been kind of the game has been a little polarizing. I think there's a lot of people who love it for the nostalgia of like Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, but there's also other people who are kind of, they're not happy with it because it just seems to be a boring rehash from a team that wants to relive their glory days. Right? Because a big part of Valve's development cycle when it comes to games has always been, what technology can we show off, right? Valve has been open about this, where they don't develop games unless they have some new technology to show off. And Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, for them, that was like, I think the AI and Horde mode stuff, like how they were able to develop that, was a big part of why they made those games. And so I wonder how that has affected the development of this game in terms of were they really just trying to create Left 4 Dead 2 again? Or, in this case, Left 4 Dead 3? Or was there something that they wanted to do differently or create differently?
So I think you're right on the mark again. I think this was just a rehash. And I can foresee, and I don't know, maybe it hits, other audiences a lot differently. I can foresee this being something where it's a hot ticket for a month or two, and then we see it drop off. You know what I mean? Because, I think, playing the campaign once or twice would be fun, but I don't know, repeated, like, playthroughs of it. Like, I don't know what it is about Left 4 Dead 2, but I played that the other day, and it just felt so good. You know what I mean? And I think that's such a hard feeling to replicate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and the cool thing about this, I will say, is it's cross-play, so you can play with everybody on every platform. Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox. I thought that was really cool, and I think that's something we need to see more of in games that are a multiplayer.
Oh, so real quick, it looks like I said that while I was muted. Basically, what I was mentioning was Left 4 Dead 2 is Back 4 Blood's biggest competitor. Left 4 Dead 2 is still very accessible. It's very cheap. It works on a variety of on PCs. When it came out, it was on Xbox and PS3. So Left 4 Dead 2 is very much a part of like the conversation here in terms of like what are you going to play. And I think it is Back 4 Blood's biggest competition. I don't think Killing Floor 2 or Vermintide are Back 4 Blood's biggest competition. I still think it's Left 4 Dead 2. Sorry, you can continue, Cody.
Oh no, that's good. You're good. I don't know. I think those games too. They have their own nature of genre. Like they could be similar, but I mean they're totally different beast. I would say like Killing Floors 2 is like its own type of game. I remember when that game first came out, dude. That game I couldn't put it down, and once again I think that's a game that is able to replicate that replayability that Back 4 Blood just can't like step to. Because I could put some hours into Killing Floors, and just if you're playing with the right person or the right friend, you could just sink hours into it. And I don't know, I'm speaking a little too early on this. Like I said, it's still in beta. I haven't had a chance to actually play the game as it came out. So maybe there's some time some time to be told.
Yeah. Green, sorry, we've kind of been leaving you out of this conversation here.
No, it's okay. I don't really have any questions about it. I just you pretty much hit everything that I had on the head. So
yeah. Any other thoughts? I mean, this is obviously just at first impressions. I'm gonna try to get on it. On the 12th for sure.
I think it's going to be a game that's going to be a hot ticket for a little bit, and then it's going to fall off. And I think I really don't know what you could do because games like that, like we see it with all the new games coming out. What can you really do to give life to a game like that? Besides, I guess maybe do seasonal stuff. When it's Christmas, make everything like Christmassy and offer you different skins and stuff. Because this game doesn't even offer that, which. I don't know, as small as it is, sometimes grinding for a skin or a weapon skin or a character skin, like it makes it fun. It makes it worth it. Gives it some of that replayability. I don't know. I think we're gonna see some fun with it, and then it's gonna drop off unless some cool DLC pops out later on.
Yeah, I think for me, what would make this, I don't know what they're gonna do for mods, but I think adding mod support, map builder, and leaning into speedrunning are going to be the best options for them.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2 have mod support. People build maps and stuff for it. So I think that's going to be about what they're going to need to do is offer like map builder. Like, hey, challenge you and your friends in this map builder mode. You know, create these intricate maps with some, maybe you can like create your own puzzles and stuff like that. And that's probably where a lot of replayability would come from. I think they need to probably add that support, and also they really would need to lean into excuse me. They'd probably need to lean into speedrunning quite a bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, create leaderboards and global leaderboards and stuff like that. That's where I think they'd probably see the most benefit. Anything else?
I mean, I think I pretty much said everything that I felt was of importance to say about it. You know, I obviously play the open beta before you make a choice, because I mean, what I feel and what I perceive might be a lot different than everybody else.
Yeah.